There will be long hours, and you must be prepared to live laborious days if we are to serve our people optimally.
Be strong partners on Nigeria's journey to being the world's greatest. President Buhari tasked ministers designate. Court clears the cost for Buhari to swear in ministers designate.
This president has made this comment purely to strengthen the position of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Central Bank of Nigeria defends position on food importation. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. Reading with me tonight, Michael Olaleye from Lagos. Mariam Adura will join us from Jos later, and Dibabari Siadomo Nweke will also join us from Port Harcourt. President Muhammadu Buhari has described as frightening the looming demographic potential of Nigeria between now and 2050, saying handouts from the so-called development partners can no longer help and that the nation's problems can only be solved within. But the president is optimistic that the next level of his administration can lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty and place the nation among the world's greatest. He was speaking at the opening of a two-day presidential retreat for ministers designate, preparatory to the inauguration of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adam Musambo now reports.
The retreat is designed to prepare and sensitize the ministers designate on the status of policies, programs and projects of government and the roadmap towards the delivery of its priorities as encapsulated in the next level agenda. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the ministers designate, whom he said were chosen by the country above others, hopes that they will be in tune with their roles and responsibilities in the changing times as the nation's course is charted for a sustainable future.
By average estimates, our population is close to 200 million people today. By 2050, the United Nations estimates put Nigeria third globally, behind only India and China, with our projected population of 411 million people. This is a frightening prospect. Honorable Ministers designate, it is a great privilege for you to be called upon to serve in this great office of state, and you must grasp the chance with two hands and put in your best efforts, as Nigeria today needs top managers to handle our numerous challenges. There will be long hours, and you must be prepared to live laborious days if we are to serve our people optimally.
The president said they will also be expected to ensure that the agencies under their ministries are effective, efficient, and accountable in the discharge of their responsibilities as the government sustains efforts at securing the country, improving the economy, and fighting corruption.
We have rolled back the frontiers of terrorism. We are actively addressing other challenges, such as kidnapping, farmer-herder violence, improving the safety of our roads, railways, air traffic, and fire control capabilities. We are steadily turning the economy around through investment in agriculture, manufacturing, shoring up our foreign reserves, curbing inflation, improving the country's infrastructure. We have recovered hundreds of billions of stolen assets and are actively pursuing control measures to tackle leakages in public resources. We will not let up in fighting corruption.
Although the ministers designate were chosen to represent their states as a constitutional imperative, President Buhari, however, insists that it is vital for all of them to work as a team and, most importantly, as Nigerians. Convener of the retreat and secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, told the appointees that as the president's aides, their legacies will lie in how much support they have been able to give in the task of moving Nigeria to the next level, and not how much patronage extended to close associates and supporters.
This call to service requires all of us to fully share in the President's vision and agenda for our country. As members of the President's team, it behoves on us to join him in providing the leadership required to develop Nigeria and lift the bulk of its people out of poverty. You will be required to work to the high standards of integrity, discipline, and dedication that have been set by the President in his long career in the service of the country.
The SGF encouraged them to participate actively in sessions of the retreat, which he said will shape the way they will work over the next 4 years. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still at the presidential retreat, assisting President Muhammadu Buhari to deliver the next level agenda in the social contract with Nigerians is a task that must be accomplished. This was emphasized by some of the ministers designate and other top government functionaries who spoke on the sidelines of the ongoing presidential retreat in Abuja. Mitare Ikben reports.
Some of them were in the team in the last 4 years, while others are coming on board at a time when the Buhari administration has raised the bar in priority areas of security, the economy, and the fight against corruption. As they bond in ideas and strategies during this 2-day retreat, drawing from the expertise of facilitators, members of the next cabinet hope to strike the right chord that will engender all-round development.
Our economy has been growing consecutively for the past 8 quarters, but we need to increase the rate of growth.
And I think that will be the challenge of every minister that comes on board. Make sure that what we do reinforces and coincides with these 3 key areas for the generality of Nigerians.
To deliver on the promises made to Nigerians and to move Nigeria and Nigerians to the next level.
You've seen very clearly His Excellency Mr. President is giving a clear charge. And this is a wonderful thing he's done. He's brought the entire team together to bond the entire team to have one agenda. Because it is one country, it's one agenda.
Consolidating ongoing reforms in key sectors, imbibing best practice in governance and service delivery to the masses, as well as aggregating the expectations from Nigerians are subject matters that will engage the participants. From the State House Conference Center, Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has declined an ex parte motion seeking to stop President Muhammadu Buhari from swearing in the 43 ministerial nominees recently confirmed by the Senate. Justice Taiwo, who delivered the ruling, said the applicants filed their motion out of time. Olabode Arewa reports.
Citing Section 14, Subsection 3 and Section 147 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, an indigene of Karo community in the Federal Capital Territory, Musa Babapanya, approached the court for an order to stop President Muhammadu Buhari from inaugurating his 43 ministers designate. The applicant is seeking compliance with a March 15, 2018 judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja, which directed that an Abuja indigene should also be appointed as a minister of the Federation. Justice Taiwo reasoned that while the applicants had the fundamental right to file the motion, the court would not stop the minister's inauguration since they have already been screened by the Senate. Instead, Justice Taiwo directed Musa Babapanya to personally set the court processes on President Muhammadu Buhari and the Attorney General of the Federation.
My lord is of the opinion that it is better to put them on notice than to stop the inauguration and then have an expedited hearing of the matter.
No date was fixed for continuation of the suits. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has described as very unfair and unfortunate the attempts by some people to misrepresent President Muhammadu Buhari's comments on the non-utilization of foreign exchange for the importation of food into the country. Speaking to newsmen on the sidelines of the retreat for the ministers designate, Mr. Emefiele explained that the president's directive is in the logic of the Apex Bank's foreign exchange policy management. This, he explained, started in 2016 with a ban on the importation of 41 food and non-food items into the country.
What we will say from the Central Bank of Nigeria is that this president has made this comment purely to strengthen the position of the Central Bank of Nigeria, to say, yes, he believes in what the Central Bank of Nigeria has been doing since 2016, and that there is a need for us to reinforce that on going forward. And I will say that, to be honest, we would aggressively go more into the list of items that are being imported into the country and that we think can be produced in Nigeria. And we would, and I would like to stress that we would ensure that more of these items get onto the list of items that are going to be restricted from accessing foreign exchange in the Nigerian banking industry, not just from central bank source. Why should we be exporting jobs to another country? Today, we are complaining that there is a high rate of unemployment, leading to some extent the level of insecurity in the country. Why should we allow people to import food that can be produced in the country? We need to improve the wealth in our rural communities, and I'm saying we will not change course. We will even be more aggressive on this program.
Godwin Omefiele there, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Anti-corruption officials from 12 African Commonwealth countries are joining forces to fight illicit financial activities through a training that will build capacity for strategic management of anti-corruption agencies. This is with the view of promoting economic growth and stimulating investment to improve the living standards of citizens and member states. The report.
Africa's potentials is said to be hampered by corruption, which decreases a third of the GDP, put at $380 in GDP per capita. To reverse the trend, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in collaboration with the Commonwealth Africa Anti-Corruption Center, is training personnel from some Commonwealth Africa member states to come up with strategies that will improve the capacity of anti-corruption agencies to deliver in their mandate of fighting the menace, especially with organized criminals, devising sophisticated means of perpetrating crimes.
The task of fighting corruption is not only Herculean, but it's also sophisticated. To be successful, anti-corruption agencies must also stay ahead of these criminal groups.
It's better to prevent people from having opportunity to be corrupt than chasing thieves.
No country can aspire its best if it allows corruption to cloud it.
And Shirley Benyet is a participant from Mauritius Independent Commission Against Corruption, one of the 12 countries participating in the training. To her, if the continent is to fight the menace, there is need for attitudinal change and inculcating of sound morals in youth.
We have a whole unit dedicated and focused on how to prevent, how to make the education, because education starts at school. So we have very good programs for the youth, since primary school to tertiary education students.
We have to up our game in terms of tracing of those assets, because you cannot recover what you have traced.
The 5 days training is also providing a platform for the likes of Anne to share knowledge and experience that will lead to curbing corruption in Africa.
The presidency says, following reports making the rounds in some media outlets, it is necessary to state categorically that the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Babatunde Fowler, is not under any investigation. The letter from the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, on which the purported rumor of an investigation is based, merely raises concerns over the negative run of the tax revenue collection in recent times. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, explained that taking a cue from today's presentation of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the presidential retreat for ministers designate, federal permanent secretaries and top government officials, which dwelt on the overview of the policies, programs, and project audit committee, a body he chaired, projected revenue of government falls behind recurrent expenditure, even without having factored in capital expenditure. Consequently, the statement added that it will appear that Nigeria might be heading for a fiscal crisis if urgent steps are not taken to halt the negative trends in target setting and target realization in tax revenue. Anyone conversant with Federal Executive Council deliberations will have observed that issues bordering on revenue form the #1 concern of what Nigeria faces today, and therefore often take a prime place in discussions of the body. It is noteworthy and highly commendable that under this administration, the number of taxable adults has increased from 10 million to 20 million, with concerted efforts still ongoing to bring a lot more into the tax net. More condemnations on Senator Ike Ekweremadu's attack. Details when we return.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
Mommy, that smells wonderful. What's your secret?
Do you want to know?
Yes.
Kiss, please.
Mwah.
I guess this jollof deserves something bigger.
Oh,
that's big.
Ooh, that's the biggest cube I've ever seen.
Bigger is better.
Discover new Geno Max, 25% bigger for a greater aroma and a richer taste.
Wow, that's big. Bigger is better.
New Geno Max 5 gram seasoning cube. Chicken and spice flavors. Bigger is better.
Keep your white fabrics glowing whiter, your home sparkling and free from germs with Hypo. Make a dazzling impression every time and let your white speak for you.
My wife. Any other wife is a counterfeit.
Oh, Mama.
Hypo. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Now available in lime brie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Mortise Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortise Power Guard.
The Aerial Assurance Challenge.
Oh, thank you. But what assurance can you give our daughter?
Everything. With the new look Aerial, I can even do the laundry.
Prove it then.
Okay. Let's make this stain even tougher. Now, let's wash the cloth. With your detergent and with new look Aerial. Do you believe me now? Aerial, now in a new look pack.
Hello?
Hello, Kenny.
You feel make 10 tops for this time next week? Sharp.
Yes, sir, but...
Okay, talk later.
You won't get money now.
Hurry up!
My pikin, how you doing?
Papa, I say make I remind you about that loan.
Loan, I beg.
Hello, Papa?
Your move.
Hello, sister of life. I won't remind you of that loan. Hello?
The number cannot be reached now.
Hello, Oga.
your clothes already.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow your business? Here's good news. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria. Financing sustainable growth.
Thank you for remaining with the NTA. Humanitarian workers all over the world are celebrating the heroes of humanity who paid the supreme price in the cause of discharging humanitarian services across the globe. In Nigeria, celebration is focusing on better ways to protect humanitarian workers in the course of duties. Correspondent Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the 2019 celebrations' theme is celebrating women humanitarians.
Available records by the United Nations indicate that the humanitarian crisis directly affects more than 140 million people in 37 countries of the world, and more than 65 million of these people have been displaced from their homes as a result of violent conflicts, civil wars, and natural disasters. The women who form a larger percentage of these humanitarian services risk losing their lives all the time. As a result, many have been killed and others traumatized. Malama Asama Ulio is a humanitarian worker and global ambassador for peace and humanity for more than 20 years. She shared her experiences on the good, the bad, and the ugly while discharging her duties as a humanitarian worker.
In the course of my work, I would not say there are no challenges. Psychologically, there are challenges. Even balancing family and work life is a challenge as a woman humanitarian. But if you have the passion and you have the calling and you have the zeal, there is nothing that will stop you from being a humanitarian.
This symposium is to mark the 2019 Humanitarian Day, and there is a unanimous case for proactive efforts to protect the humanitarian worker, especially the women.
The ECOWAS Commission is happy to work with all partners to sensitize the public during peace and conflict times of the need not to see humanitarians, particularly female humanitarians, as targets.
The World Humanitarian Day continues to recognize the sufferings of millions of civilians caught in conflicts, particularly women and children who struggle to find food and shelter for their survival. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Society of Engineers is complementing the efforts of the federal government in stemming the tide of insecurity in Nigeria. To this end, a locally fabricated integration test and design center has been suggested where satellite-based devices can be developed to clamp down terrorists before they strike. This was at a lecture in honor of the first female chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers in Abuja. Elizabeth Omorui has the report.
As threats to lives and property become asymmetric in nature with the use of conventional and sophisticated equipment by bandits, pipeline vandals, terrorists, kidnappers and robbers, Nigerian engineers are charting a way forward on how to combat insecurity in the nation. Engineer Lasisi is a satellite communications and space systems expert, and he says leveraging on space technology devices such as the GPSR trackers, navigation satellites and drones will help demobilize violent groups before they attack.
Recently, we've been having incessant collapse of buildings. How can we mitigate against this? You can utilize deformation monitoring services of GNSS satellite to detect when a bridge, a dam, a high-rise building is no longer safe for human life. So there could be early warning to evacuate.
So it means these drones can be deployed to areas that are susceptible to all these havocs. And through that, we can get information to the control room.
Others buttressed on the need for the Defense Space Administration and other relevant space agencies to deploy the tools in line with the executive order on Nigerian Content Development Initiative.
Look at our space resources, share experiences, chart a way into the future.
We are asking government and all the stakeholders to explore engineering means to solve this issue, most especially insecurity.
It is the opinion of the experts here that the federal government finance the utilization of the space devices in order to enhance the efforts of the Nigerian military in conquering insurgency and other homeland crimes. Honor was bestowed on the first female chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers, Aishatu Aliu Umar, for her doggedness towards the engineering profession. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
If urgent and necessary measures are not taken, Michika and Madagali, the two most affected areas by activities of insurgents in Adamawa State, will be cut off from Yola, the state capital, and neighboring Borno State. Yusuf Jika reports that this is due to the destruction of two most important bridges that link the area with other parts of the country, which has been destroyed by the Boko Haram insurgents in 2014.
Dilchim and Kudzum bridges are the two most important bridges in Adamawa Node, as they serve as gateway to Yola, the state capital, Borno State, and the neighboring Cameroon. These important facilities were destroyed by activities of insurgents in 2014. However, the contract to the reconstruction of the two bridges was awarded by the Buhari administration in 2016 as part of his rehabilitation initiatives process, but 3 years after, not much achieved.
Ina kiran gwamnati ta canja wannan kwangilan nan a ba wasu wanda za su iya yi.
Motoci ba sa zuwa ko ta ina. A zo a samu a taro a lalace ba amfani sa.
And we have mobilized to the side since. But the problem is that we are having serious problem. Even in Bridge 3, our people have been attacked.
Considering the importance of these facilities, its absence no doubt has affected the socio-economic well-being of the people, and it also poses threat to security situation in the area, as no vehicle can be transported to the Michika and Madigali. Worried by the situation, Governor Amadou Umaru Fintri, who was on assessment visit to the area, promised to collaborate with the federal government towards finding an immediate and lasting solution. The governor appealed to Federal Ministry of Works to revoke any contract of a project in the insurgency-affected areas that is being handled with laxity.
Despite the good intention of Mr. President to see that he provide palliatives for the people of the Northeast sub-region, I think it calls for wake-up on the part of the Ministry of Works.
In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Still in the Northeast, the residents of Yobe State, who have been tenants, now have an opportunity to be landlords, as the state government has signed an agreement with private developers to provide affordable housing units to all members of the society. Namso Damien Eti has the report.
Yobe State Governor Maima Labuni, accompanied by some state government executives, arrived Abuja. Shortly after, the private developers follow, and they all settle down to business. The final stage for the commencement of the building of 2,600 housing units for low-income earners. Now, the project targets urban and rural dwellers in all the senatorial districts and the state capital, which is projected to get 1,000 new housing units.
Cost of 10,830,339,654 naira. We will build 500 units in Yobe Zone A, with Gaidam and Bunyadi towns each having 250 units. In Zone B, we will construct 250 units in Potiskum and 200 units in Damagum town of Fune local government area. In Zone C, we will site the houses in Gashua town with 250 units, Nguru with 200 units, and Machina with 150 units.
The deal is signed and sealed, and the developers assures residents of comfortable and affordable homes.
We envisage a construction period of about 18 months to ensure that the homes are delivered on time, to the right quality, and at the right price.
The houses, after completion, will be sold to all interested persons across the state. Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
The Embassy of Nigeria, Berlin, Germany, has reacted to the viral videos of a vicious physical attack on the immediate past Deputy Senate President and serving Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ike Ekwuremadu, by some members of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, IPOD, in Nuremberg on the 17th of August 2019. The embassy in a statement condemned the attack that happened at an event organized by the Nigerians in Germany under the auspices of a socio-cultural organization known as Ndigbo, Germany, a registered entity in the Federal Republic of Germany. Invitations were extended to Nigerian dignitaries, including the distinguished senator and Nigeria's ambassador to Germany, Yusuf Maitama Tugga. The Nigerian ambassador also honored, the Nigerian ambassador Yusuf Tugga honored the invitation but arrived at the venue shortly after the incident. The embassy has requested a thorough investigation of the attack with a view to identifying the perpetrators and to bring them to justice, and noted that the perpetrators will be tried in accordance with German law. Meanwhile, Senator Ike Ekweremadu is back in Nigeria. Still on the attack in Germany, in Igbo Germany, the umbrella apex union of all Igbo unions operating in the Federal Republic of Germany, are shocked and dismayed by the unprovoked, unwarranted and senseless attack on Senator Ike Ekweremadu on the 17th of August 2019 in Nuremberg, Germany. A statement by the coordinator of the group, Oge Ozofo, the invitation of the former Deputy President of the Senate is part of efforts to encourage foreign investment and industrialization of Igbo land. The group wishes to offer its unequivocal apology to Senator Ike Ekweremadu for the unfortunate treatment misdirected at him by members of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, IPOD, in Germany. It described the incident as shocking, sad, and shameful. The group also apologized to Ohaneze Ndigbo and to all well-meaning Igbo diasporan groups and associations both at home and abroad for the disgrace. Still on the Ndigbo issue in Germany, the All Progressives Congress has strongly condemned the attack on Senator Ike Ekweremadu, immediate past Deputy Senate President and serving senator, by members of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOD, on Saturday in Nuremberg, Germany. The APC, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Lanre Issa Oniru, described those involved in the despicable actions and the organization they represent as unworthy in character. The statement added that the assault on Senator Ike Ekweremadu was an indecent action and is below the acceptable standard of behavior expected of citizens, whether in Nigeria or abroad. Nigerians, the APC said, have a responsibility to collectively rise against evil at all times and in whatever guise it manifests. Let's now join Michael Olale in Lagos for more reports on NTA Network News. Hello, Michael.
Kudu and welcome to Lagos. Following the expiration of the 14 days ultimatum given to the federal government by the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Unions, NASU, the two bodies have begun a 5-day warning strike. Hingino John Adams, who monitored the strike at the University of Lagos, reports.
Though the music sounds melodious and the dance steps beautiful, members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities, SANU, and Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, are calling for total commitment by the federal government in renegotiation of 2009 agreements, payment of their earned allowances, as well as reinstatement of university staff, schools, workers into the payroll.
If the government fail to meet our demands, we will come back to embark on indefinite strike. The federal government should come back, renegotiate, and make sure that they look into our grievances.
These students' wish is for the warning strike not to hold.
I went to the e-library now to carry out my research, and I realized that the place was locked up.
So we hope and pray that the government will listen to their demands.
A tour around the school reveals that students are going about their normal activities, but no lectures going on. The strike is coming 5 months after the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, suspended its 4 months industrial action in Lagos. Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Normalcy has returned to Okeodo Market along Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway following the fight which broke out between two load carriers, contrary to speculations that the fight was a trade dispute. Dotun Ogunyemi, who visited the market, reports that 2 persons were allegedly killed while several others have been hospitalized.
The atmosphere in Araromi Market, Okeodo, is still tense. Heavy security presence is not the only thing that is noticeable in the area in the last 24 hours, but commercial activities have also resumed. Traders cautiously welcome the attention the market is getting and use the opportunity to call on government to address security concerns. Many regret the circumstances, but hope a reoccurrence will be prevented.
There should be an avenue whereby that will foster love, peace and unity, and also at the Katangwa areas at that dump site, information has gotten to the entire community that we have strange faces there now.
One underlying factor in all the reactions was the presence of this dump site.
The problem is now we have so many hoodlums here now that you cannot even control.
Most of the people you see around me say they have come to this part of Lagos and they are in Araromi Market to make a living for themselves and not to cause trouble. But with recent happenings in this market, market leaders and traders as well are calling for a review of the presence of this dump site very close to the market.
Various strategies need to be adopted to bring a permanent solution to the crisis.
The market, which is a business hub for the major ethnic groups in Nigeria, is currently undergoing infrastructural upgrading to eradicate the menace of street trading. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Activate your life, be who you want to be. It's now. Come on, get active. Oh, yeah. Yes, you can do it if you try.
Start an active life with the power of vegetables and fruits. Chivita Active. Be active. Do more.
Here is a very tough guy who knocks out every opponent. But now he's been knocked down by malaria.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel makes treating malaria easy.
Daddy, when I had malaria in school, they gave me Amatem Soft Gel. It's soft and easy to swallow.
Amatem Soft Gel is a game changer.
Oh my God! Oh! The opponent is down! Only in round 1!
Amatem for Soft Gel, a good talk about malaria for body.
Available for adults and children. Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
In Nigeria, there is one sound we need to silence. So let's silence toothache before it starts with Oral-B All-Round Protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because the only sound we really want to hear is that of our future. For healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
Helen!
Hey, where's your mom?
Today is her toilet day.
What?
Helen!
Toilet day?
Tomorrow you're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with all this, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible!
Challenge? New Ticker Harpic 10X. Even if you use this solution 10 times, it won't give you the same cleaning like Harpic. Its new Ticker formulation sticks to the bowl better, removes old stains, and gives you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow!
New Harpic 10X
gives me the freedom from toilet day.
New Harpic 10X for 10 times better cleaning.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Back to our Abuja studios on Business News. Stock Market Council's bearish trend of last week to open the week in green. Moplang Dakog is here in the studio to give us all the details. Welcome, Moplang.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Business News. OPEC recently announced production adjustments which Nigeria affirmed commitment to. Timothy Okon, a petroleum economist, spoke on issues around the OPEC cut agreement and the Nigerian economy on NTA's Business Express this afternoon, where he noted that with a cap on output, Nigeria has to put in place all fundamentals to garner gains from the market.
It means that you have to adjust certain projects, the projects that would yield a better rate of return. If you're looking at developing new projects, etc., you'll be more careful in doing that.
Okay.
But let me say that beyond the tweets, and there are certain fundamentals investors look at.
Okay.
If the economy maintains a reasonable buoyancy, that's the world economy, and maintains a reasonable buoyancy, then demand will go up, and it will absorb some of the supply, and prices would stabilize accordingly.
Trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed positive this Monday after a bearish week previously. The all-share index appreciated by 0.71% to close at 27,115.89 basis points, with market capitalization at 13.214 trillion naira. 250 million equities were traded at the end of the session in 4,116 deals, valued at 4.1 billion naira. WAPCO, Transcorp and Zenith Bank emerged the most active stocks at the end of the session, while MTN Nigeria, Stanbic and Dangote Cement topped the gainers table. The losers were led by Nestle, Cadbury and Dangote Sugar. Also, global stocks picked up on Monday as global stimulus and talk trade optimism. This is because crude oil prices rose on Monday following a weekend attack on Saudi oil facility by Yemeni separatists and traders who looked for signs that Sino-US trade tensions could ease. Brent crude, the international benchmark for oil prices, was up by 55 cents at $59.19 a barrel. That's business news. Kudu, it's back to you.
Thank you, Moplang. We now go to Jos to join Mariam Adura for more on network news. Hello, Mariam.
Hello, Kudu. It's good to have you join us. NTA Television College Jos is to receive legislative support to enable it attract funding for optimal service delivery in contemporary media training. Senator representing Plateau North Senatorial Zone is Stephanus Dungyang, while on a visit to the college, acknowledged the role the institution plays in raising skilled manpower to service the nation's growing television industry. Kasim Jibril completes the report.
Senator Gyang identifies the need for legislative backing for the upgrade and transformation of NTA Television College Jos into the first television university in Africa. He maintains that this will create unlimited access to funding for tertiary institutions, infrastructural and human resource development.
I'll start working on the bill so that we ensure that we give this institution the appropriate enabling environment by having a legal framework, an act that will formally establish it.
Rector of the college, Dr. Barnabas Bam, implored the senator to interface with NTA College by citing some constituency projects that will improve academic standard of the college. He solicits for massive sponsorship of students and trainees in various areas of media practice that will make them self-reliant.
We want to ask in the short term that maybe if by way of your constituency projects you help us build 1 or 2 lecture theaters, that will still be very fine, sir.
The delegation also visited Highland FM Jos to complete Senator Gang's visitation of federal establishment in his constituency for synergy. In Jos, Kasim Jibril, NTA News.
A combined team of security operatives consisting of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Plateau State Operation Rainbow have arrested 45 illegal tin miners at the Lamingo Water Dam in Jos North local government area. The security operatives pledged to maintain 24-hour surveillance in the area to keep the activities of the illegal miners under control. Dunchu reports.
Parading the suspect, the commandant of the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, Solomon Olasupo, said the arrest was made possible following a tip-off. He warned those involved in such illegal activity to desist, as security agencies will ensure the law take its course.
After a lot of grassroots intelligence gathering, we find out that these illegal mining are causing a lot of problems.
Apart from environmental hazard it poses, the mining activities also negatively affect the water production.
It has affected the water, the raw water itself. It has polluted it, and we have found it so difficult to treat it because we are using large quantities of water, of chemicals, in order to treat that water to be wholesome.
With the civil defense and the Operation Rainbow, and we, the community, will also put head together and see that this place is safe.
Meanwhile, the suspect will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. In Jos, Dunchun, NTA News.
That's it from this end. Kudu is back to you for the rest of the news. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mariam. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board is set to provide capacity building, funding and access to market for 60 oil and gas startups as part of efforts to add value to in-country initiative of the federal government. Executive Secretary of the board, Simbi Kesie Wabote, stated this during the board's quarterly meeting with journalists in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
Sections 67 and 70 of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Act mandate the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board to update stakeholders on development, policies and responsibilities towards meeting the targets set in the Act. This is the crux of this gathering.
The key rewards from the implementation of a 10-year roadmap are the creation of 300,000 jobs from industry activities and the retention of about $14 billion in country out of the average $20 billion annual spend in the oil and gas industry.
Issues around compliance and enforcement, technical capabilities of indigenous companies, level of investment, among others, were also given attention.
The Walter Smith refinery is on track for completion in May 2020, while the Ezekiel will be completed in 2021. We expect about 300,000 liters of diesel daily, in addition to various volumes of naphtha, kerosene, and fuel oil from Walter Smith, while Ezekiel will produce about 1.5 million liters or 50 trucks of petrol daily, including 170 liters of diesel and other products when completed.
The 10-year roadmap has technical capability development, compliance and enforcement, enabling business environment, organization capability, sectorial and regional market linkage with funding, regulatory environment, collaborations, stakeholders engagement, as well as research and development as key enablers. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Debabari Siadama Nweke is in Port Harcourt with the next set of reports. Debabari, over to you.
Good evening, Muhammad, and welcome to Port Harcourt. Oil bunkerers in Niger Delta region will no longer have a hiding place as men of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Rivers State have arrested trucks and vessels loaded with large quantity of adulterated diesel hidden beneath bags of salt. Robinson Derataide has the details.
2 trucks were arrested at Eleme loaded with products suspected to be legally refined diesel concealed in polythene bags hidden beneath bags of salts. 1 Sienna bus and a J5 box loaded with diesel concealed in nylon bags were arrested at different locations, as well as a bag filled with suspected crude oil arrested within Dutch Island Creek in Okrika, River State. The state commandant NNCDC, Mokhtar Lawal, also paraded 21 suspects. 11 of them were handed over to the Corps by the Nigerian Army.
I will leave no stone unturned in ensuring the protection of critical national asset and infrastructure against vandalization. And I'm appealing to the general public to report all cases of vandalization to the nearest security outposts for prompt action.
The suspects will be charged to court for proper prosecution. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Derataide, NTA News.
Fire allegedly erupting from oil spill in the Mega 2 axis of the Kolo Creek in Ogbea local government area of Bayelsa State has caused damage to farmlands and aquatic life. Fred Owiefie visited the scene of the incident and reports that community leaders are calling on government, agencies and multinational companies operating in the area to come to their aid.
The fire, according to eyewitnesses, started at about 3 p.m. on Friday behind Emeal 2 Primary School and took the combined efforts of the community and Bayelsa State Fire Service to put it out. While the actual cause is yet to be identified, community leaders observed that the crude oil spill seen in the creek possibly triggered the fire.
We know that sometime last year, somewhere at Emeal 1, it occurred, and this very year, it started here again. So we don't know.
We have a lot of fishermen. We have a lot of women that farm along the riverbank. And because of this fire incident, I don't know how they can cope for now.
I am crying to the Bayelsa government and Nigeria entirely. Let them consider this old kingdom that had produced oil.
In another development, Oniebum community in Ogbea is alerting the Bayelsa State and federal government to Stanfield Creek to avoid repeats of the perennial flooding challenge of the community and its environs.
But today, because of this creek, even though we plant food, we cannot be able to harvest it. Before you know, water has covered it because of the Oku Creek.
Flooding of Oniebum Otueke Road is largely caused by water gaining access through the Oniebum Creek. Fred Owiefie, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Port Harcourt. Is back to Mohammed for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thank you, Debabari. Nigerians are still basking in the euphoria of the superlative performance of the D Tigresses. Details after this break.
Community policing in the face of insecurity in Nigeria is the thrust this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. promises to be educative and incisive. Don't miss it.
Here you go.
Madam.
That's it. Those nairas are enough.
Hi, dear. Helen! You got so much even after spending so little.
Savings is such a necessity.
You save everywhere, but here, you lose it all.
How?
With this?
Impossible.
New Tika Apic 10X. Even after applying up to 1 liter of your solution multiple times, you won't get the same cleaning that Apic gives you in a single round.
And the expense?
Far less compared to your 1 liter of solution. New Tika Apic. Top in cleaning,
top in savings.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored,
and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Thank you for remaining with the NTA. President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with the national female basketball team, the Tigresses, for a highly impressive outing at the FIBA Women's Afro Basketball 2019 in Dakar, Senegal, that saw them coasting home to victory at the finals, winning the hosts 60-55. A statement issued by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, announced that President Buhari congratulates the D Tigresses for a remarkably synergized performance that enabled them to outpace and outplay all the teams at the tournament to retain the title they won in 2017, further consolidating their position as African champions with 4 titles. President Buhari commends the team for discipline, maturity, and focus all through the tournament, and deliberateness in promoting the Nigerian flag and accompanying virtues of resilience, persistence, and dogged pursuit until victory was achieved. President Buhari sends appreciation to all the officials and technical hands that guided the team to win the African title, urging them to remain focused in deploying such energy and talent in subsequent global tournaments. Nigerians commend the female national basketball team, the Tigresses, for retaining FIBA Women's Afro Basketball title in Dakar, Senegal. Onimide Eguntola has this and more on our sports update.